Hey setters, welcome back to Give and Take with Tay, episode 5. I'm sitting here with the beautiful Chloe. Chloe, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Tatum. Thanks for having me on Adelaide set.
I'm so excited to interview you. This is going to be amazing.
No,
so,
I'm excited.
I'm excited. Well, what was your life like growing up in South Australia?
Well, after moving from England with my family, we moved to Adelaide. So that was when I was only 10. So life in South Australia has been a transition. I feel very lucky to have grown up in Adelaide, but I think for the majority it was finding where my place was and finding my identity in a new space, in a new country. And I'm so lucky to still be living here, and I guess having South Australia be such a pinnacle point of my business, my career, and the things that I've been able to achieve.
Wow, and was it hard coming from England to Adelaide? Was there big differences?
I would say it was hard, I think these days it's easier for many reasons, but I think being young, it was such a transition, and having like my little English accent that's now definitely gone.
Don't worry, it's still there, I can still hear it.
It kind of maybe stand out in all the wrong ways when I was 10. So it has been amazing, and going back to England, you realise as well just how lucky we are here for so many reasons.
Wow, well, welcome to Adelaide. Been here since you were 10 years old. That's crazy. When did you discover your passion for the beauty industry?
I would say that it literally started thanks to my mum's blush and brown lipstick when I was like 5. And then it kind of transitioned into primary school, where I didn't really know what makeup was or why I was using it, but it was for confidence. And then in high school, it just kind of got worse. Like the school wasn't really about makeup, so it was just years of being kind of scolded for wearing makeup until one year in, I think it was year 10, my business studies teacher said to me, you really like makeup, don't you? Why don't you go and study to be a makeup artist?
Wow, what a teacher.
And that was, you always remember that one teacher and that one defining moment. And it was someone who suddenly wasn't telling me off for wearing makeup. And I did. I went and studied at Media Makeup, which is the best school in my opinion. At 15.
At 15?
Yes, during school. And that was kind of the moment where I realised it was my passion, and it was something that I was interested in, rather than just slapping it on my face.
And then just doing it. So what kind of trends were going on back then? What was the go-to?
Not many.
Not many? No, so no liquid liner?
Honestly, the kind of look then was black smoky eyes and pink lipstick. And I reckon the 3 main brands were MAC, Inglot and Napoleon. And that's as good as it got.
Wow, so that was just like the liquid gold in those times.
And there was no real social media presence. Instagram didn't even exist. Makeup artists was still kind of like
real OG.
It was a real different world back then. Just seeing the growth in the last 10 years is actually like extraordinary.
It's just skyrocketing.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. Well, moving forward, growing up, how did you navigate the beauty industry? Like you were saying that there was no technology to kind of support it. So how did you guys get around?
I always find it interesting when people ask this question. I would say it was really organic, but also I just took it one step at a time, because there was real no navigation. Social media wasn't there to provide resources. And I guess young women doing business or freelancing just wasn't heard of back then. So this would have been late 2010 when I started. And so the way to navigate was just simply winging it, seeing what worked and what didn't.
Word of mouth kind of thing.
I was about to say that. So I think because I started with word of mouth, that's all it is now too. I've never advertised, and I've never really, I've been very lucky in that sense that my business has grown organically. I do your wedding, you tell your sister, she tells her cousin. So I think I did it harder at the beginning, but it provided me with the ability to do it properly and not needing to rely on other forms to get work.
Bit of a butterfly effect in terms of like reaching everyone. And
I would say the pinnacle point, I guess, where I was like, oh, I could do this as a career was when my cousin asked me to do her wedding, and that was my very first wedding.
That was the big moment that locked it in.
It locked it in, and I was like, someone wants to actually book me for their wedding day? What?
I can make a living off of this?
I know. And I was 19 and I had no idea what I was doing. But I think, I just navigated through learning by myself, and then speaking to like-minded individuals and going to business events and really just trying to educate myself, because there was lack of education for me.
Yeah. So you kind of just dived into it all and learned things.
Really, dived deep.
Wow.
That's definitely the way to put it.
So what drives your inspirations and why? Like, where do you find your artistic expression in terms of being creative all the time?
To find my drive, firstly, is finding something that's greater than yourself and a purpose that is outside of yourself. So that's what drives me, and being in an industry that is heavily, it's women, predominantly women, and it's an industry that is so revolved around image. So finding something that's greater than that to bring women together and help women feel good about themselves is what drives me. And I would say my inspiration or my artistic flair, I genuinely couldn't tell you. I think any artist would have trouble defining that. I would just say that when I'm doing makeup or hair or brows, my hands, it's like a transaction, and it's an expression form, and it just comes naturally, and it's something that I feel like I need to do.
It's kind of like a conscious moment, and you're just consciously doing it, and then it's done.
Yes,
and
definitely.
Then you just,
and it's so rewarding. And that's what kind of feeds it. And that's how you never get bored of it either, because I'm not just painting a piece of paper. I've got a new client, a new canvas that's 3-dimensional, and that itself is my inspiration, I would say.
Wow. That's so cool. That's amazing. So since the internet, how has that changed your perception on the beauty industry?
With the internet, with social media, you mean more?
Anything.
I would say that it's made it very important to stay grounded and know who you are, because social media and the internet has given the opportunity for businesses to boom and grow astronomically, but also there's so much more exposure and pressure that comes with that. So I would say I've seen a lot in the 10, 11 years that I've been doing this, which is all the more reason why I want to provide a place where you inspire other women, other makeup artists in that platform, because it is hard. Like, there's, so many good makeup artists, there's so many opportunities out there because of social media and the internet that it can get overwhelming. So I would say, there's been so many changes, especially in the last 5 years, which has been incredible for people being heard and people having a chance at business. But it's also a moment where you have to really find your purpose, find what makes you want to get up in the morning and stick to that, put the blinkers on and stay focused.
So keeping up to date with trends and kind of because it's a lot of research as well that goes into it. And I guess when you're constantly, for me, when I'm looking at all these beautiful makeup artists, some of them have their own thing, they each have their own. Some might be more glam, whereas yourself, it could be more wedding and beauty kind of thing. So how do you keep up with trends and kind of, as well as incorporate your own style?
Well, I would say being aware of what trends are and then picking and choosing. So I think you don't need to follow every single trend. It's like our fashion. We like to try new trends, but finding what works with your body shape is more important. So finding your signature look and then adapting the trends that suit, I would say, is really important. My signature look is soft glam, and so doing particular trends that fit with that is what I try to stick to. And then I guess suggesting other creatives and professionals in the industry, if your client wants a particular trend that you don't specialize in, and just being about the community and sharing the business so that you stay in your lane. Oh, that's awesome. So it kind of gets the juices flowing. It's you keep what you're doing plus and everything else. Yes, I guess, Trends come and go. So I would say finding your niche, finding your style, finding your flair, and then bringing in those trends in your own way.
Yeah. Oh, that's so magical. Well, what are some of your favorite looks and why?
My favorite looks, definitely soft glam, obviously, which is all about no harsh lines and edges. Making it look like it's been professionally done, but in an effortless way that makes your client or the person that you're painting feel their best, look their best, and show off their best features. So that's always going to be my favorite. Right now I'm loving the brushed up brows.
Yes, I can tell.
And I love the original brow co. They're the products that I use in stock. But on that note, that's one of those trends at the moment. So laminating is a trend, something that I think looks really cool and edgy, but I like it in the temporary way, which is using the soap rather than a permanent lamination.
Yes. So it's kind of like, I don't know, early 2000s, no eyebrows were the thing. And now it's like, you need as much eyebrow as possible. So it's so interesting.
Yes, the amount of people that come through now asking for fluffy brows, keep the little parts in the middle, make them look a little bit rough and edgy. Like, it's so cool. That's a look that I'm really digging right now.
Definitely.
And just understated. I think makeup went so glam for a little while. The cut crease, the eyeliner, the lashes, everything was very over dramatic in its own right, but now I feel like the trend and the transition is it's really been stripped back again.
It's like swinging back the other way.
Exactly.
More or less, kind of like those Twiggy days.
Yes.
You know, where it's like the line, but like that was it.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's the brows, and oh my god, it's so good.
Yes, there's so much.
Well, focusing on your business, what kind of services do you provide?
Well, fundamentally is makeup and hair styling, so dry styling as I like to call it, which means that I'm not working with wet hair as a hairdresser, I'm working with dry hair and styling it for mainly weddings and events. And as of a year ago, I now have added brow styling into my business. So that is using a essential oil-based hot wax and tinting. So that works for me because on your wedding day, like, I want you to have the best brows possible.
Of course.
So it just ties in, like, it works.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time clients really want to find someone who does makeup and hair together because the two really do come hand in hand. Have you ever had your makeup done but your hair's not done and you just feel like you're not finished?
Definitely. Well, it's just easier because that person keeps the same style with both type thing. That whereas you can still get good looks with having a different hairdresser and a different makeup artist. But having it in one person, that's a package.
Definitely.
It's so nice.
And I think feedback has shown me that's something that really helps me to stand out and is an attractive thing for a client because they can get it all done at the same place and we can bring that vision to life.
Oh, that's incredible. Well, so what have been some of the biggest challenges you've faced throughout your career as an MUA?
Can we start with COVID?
Well, we can if you want.
I mean, isn't that the biggest challenge for anyone, any business in the world? Definitely. That has been the biggest challenge that my, not only just career, my whole life has faced. And I speak for so many people on that. That is something that none of us could expect and it was very unprecedented. So I think that would be the biggest challenge.
Yeah, well, not being, because back when it all started, you guys weren't classified as an essential business.
No.
You guys had to close. So how long and what was that like?
And how do you define essential? And I understand completely about hygiene. And the close proximity you have with a client as a makeup artist, professional, hairdresser. But I guess you had no control, so there was no point like getting upset what was classified as essential or not. It was just riding the wave. How am I going to get through this? And being very proactive and not reactive. So I would say it really taught me to get a grip on my business, the policies and procedures around it, and really how much I relied on my clients. The relationship that I had built over the last 10 years is what I believe helped me get through that 3 months of not working. Because they were there for me, sending me little messages like, we're just thinking of you, I hope you're okay, can't wait to see you come back stronger. And that's what got me through the biggest challenge ever.
Wow. To be able to sit and say that coronavirus was the biggest challenge for your business. is just so, because before it could have been something so, I guess, so little, or you at least you learn to appreciate.
Yeah, the perspective is different now. And it was funny because I opened this studio 2 to 3 weeks before COVID closed me, and that was like, oh my God, like, hi, bye.
Yeah, it was like, that was me with uni. I started 2 weeks in, and then bye. That was it. And we all definitely felt the impacts.
Yeah, so that was nerve-wracking, going from like opening and taking that leap to closing for a period of time that we had no idea about. Like, we didn't know it was going to last that long.
Yeah.
And so coming back, I was a little nervous, but I think really it was the best thing that ever happened. I really took so many positives out of it and understood what my priorities were, and also how grateful I was for my clients and my business to come back to the studio, to be booked with brows, with clients, and knowing that I was supported. Yeah.
Wow, I'm so proud of you. That's so good to hear, Chloe. So, what are your hot top tips for running a successful brand?
My tips would be to focus on community and not competition.
Yeah.
So again, like when I said about relationship building, there's going to always be makeup artists, there's always going to be competition.
Yeah.
So focus on your community, focus on your clients and the culture. So my hot tip would be to find your niche, your key client, and really just, I guess, remember what it's all for. It's cool if someone else that's a makeup artist opens next door then, because it's community building rather than like, oh, like they can't open, they're another makeup artist.
They're going to take my
clients. If you focus on that, you'll never lose your clients. And it's so much more than just the money. It's so much more than just the makeup. It's the rapport that you build with someone, and it's such an intimate setting when you do makeup and hair. So that relationship building will be the crux of your whole business. I would say.
So it's kind of like, in a sense, like a mindset. If you live on that mindset of, oh no, this person, that person, if you're too busy worrying about everyone, you lose the power and the magic within performing with your own.
Exactly.
So
And another tip on top of that would be to really do your research. I think if you're doing makeup as a profession, there's so much more to it behind the scenes. It's like people see the tip of the iceberg, the makeup artist, but the business and how the business is run to support that is what nobody sees. So I would say really educate yourself on how to run a business and all the little nitty-gritties that go with that.
Wow, well thank you for that, Chloe. So in Adelaide, if you could alter anything within the beauty industry, change absolutely anything, what would you change and why?
What would I change in the beauty industry if I could?
Anything. You can, or bring something back, or just, anything.
What would I change? I would change the stigma around body image and the ability to create art, but how it's been warped now to have so much editing capacity on content on social media.
Kind of like filters
and like changing body shapes and stuff, and we've all been victim to it, or seen someone who we perceive as perfect, that kind of thing. So I would say I would change where that kind of line has been blurred between I'm a makeup artist and this is my profession and I'm creating art, to, I guess, editing everything that you put online and being misleading with your content and providing a false sense of like what your what the reality is.
So what's the line for you?
The line for me?
What is your boundaries in terms of uploading, I guess, to your socials, Instagram, Facebook? Like, what's your line?
I would say keeping it real, and then if something is edited, like I did a little photo of me and posted it the other day and said no filter, and then in the next carousel was a video where it's very obvious there's a filter, and I said with a filter. I think that's cool. Just being real and like telling the audience, because we all are going to use them. It's like a part of like I I don't know, it's like embedded in us now. We can't really escape it. So the line would be to just keep it real with your audience and jump on your stories a lot, because those videos are you and that's you as a person versus just posting an image.
Yeah. Wow, I love that. I've actually never heard someone put it into perspective that way, you know, with a filter, not with a filter. So at least you're open and honest to yourself, like, hey, right now I'm using this. And then it doesn't really hold power over you in that sense. Like you know, let's just say you're out with friends and they're filming, and because they don't have a filter, or you see it, you're like, oh no, put a filter on it. It kind of gets rid of that. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. It's so positive. Yeah. How'd you find that? You just did it.
I guess because I've been one of those people who sees something that's completely not real and gone, oh my God, that's so perfect, and you beat yourself up, or you think you're not as good as, and so you kind of go, no, like, that's not cool.
It's not cool.
Like, got to change that mindset.
Yes. It was kind of like, I guess, your generation growing up, you know, I guess wearing like, you know, open flared jeans and, you know, the real kind of Britney Spears look, and then in comparison to kind of like, you know, 12-year-olds or 14-year-olds today, and they look like just supermodels.
Correct. Yeah. That's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
So where do you see your business going in the future, and how can our setters get involved?
Where I see my business going, that is something that for the first 9 years of my career, I have not been able to answer, and it is such a good feeling to now know that I can answer that. So I would say to expand my studio into multiple locations, and that would mean essentially bringing my team in to those locations more, as I have subcontractors who help with my workload. So that provides an opportunity for them to work in our space and be more of a collective team, and essentially provide more education as well to other professionals. And I guess, just like being a bit more of a businesswoman as well, and helping push other makeup artists and hairstylists in the industry, because that's something that I find, if you are a makeup artist, that'll help with your confidence and your growth and reaching more clients, as if you jump on board with someone who's been in the industry longer. So then my job is to help train and build them to be better makeup artists.
That's beautiful. So you're kind of, in comparison to, you know, being an MUA in Melbourne or maybe even in the UK before coronavirus, you know, people just, you know, it's just the challenge and all versing each other kind of thing, and there's so much there. It's like the whole not stealing my clients. You're kind of turning it into a, hey, this business is now open for all to come in, to enjoy, to learn, and just get along with each other, and there's no competition.
Learn from each other, because I'll be like too old one day, so I'm gonna expire, so my job is more than me. It's how can I leave a legacy, and how can I inspire others that were me once to build the confidence and have the tools to be a great business owner and a great makeup artist when they mature and when they grow.
So what would you say, or how would you say to those people who, let's just say they're a student or they're in high school and they really love makeup and fashion and the beauty industry, but let's say their parents are kind of like, you know, psychologist, doctor. Like, what would you say for those people who feel like they want to be creative, but there's just that stigma there of that it's not really a professional work?
That's such a good question.
What would you say to those people?
I would say just like prove them wrong. You can't spend your whole life doing what someone else tells you to do, no matter how hard you try. You will reach a point where you're miserable. So I would say you can take their advice on board because it comes from a place of caring, but also like stay in your lane and put your head down and do what makes you happy. I kind of felt that myself when I first started. I had people telling me that university was the only way, and that's okay if that's your belief. And I did. I got in, and then the last second I was like, no, I'm not doing this for me. I'm not doing this for the right reasons. And maybe choosing to work for myself was a harder, longer path to success, or whatever you define success as. but it resonated with me, and that's why I get up in the morning. You've got to find that thing that makes you go, yeah, rather than just like, oh, this is what's expected of me. Yeah, so that would be what I say.
Just being open and honest to yourself.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, really just remembering what drives you and just white noise the rest. Yeah.
And would you say that you've come very far? Like being one of Adelaide's most successful MUAs, guys, like I'm telling you, Chloe is just everywhere. You such a beautiful, big following. Yeah, like how far have you come? You know?
I think we always look at how far we've got to go and not how far we've come. I've come a long way, mentally as well as just literally in business. So yeah, I don't know. I think I've overcome a lot of obstacles and hurdles within myself, which has allowed me then to actually feel like I'm worthy of becoming greater and having a name for myself and, you know, growing, I think.
It's good to look back and be like, hey, that was me with the eyeliner, now look at me.
I think I've come a long way, but who hasn't? I've got a long way to go.
But no, it's great. It's good to appreciate how far you've come, because sometimes when you work so much and you love what you're doing, it can get kind of, I guess it can get repetitive if you let it, and you start to disvalue. You're kind of like, oh, you know, when you reach a goal and you're like, I've done it, and then it lasts for 15 seconds and then it's like, what's the next thing?
That's so true.
Yeah, so it's good to look back and I guess appreciate
That's very true.
And living through all the trends that you have lived through. And
that's such an interesting point you make, because my friends always remind me of that, like, just stop a second and look at what you've done. Like, I'm always looking at the next thing and tomorrow, and I'm such a perfectionist in my work that you forget to be grateful or stop and appreciate the little things. Yeah.
Amazing, Chloe. Well, for those people who want to become an Adelaide MUA, what final message would you love to leave with them?
I would say to really focus on getting the certificate, the training properly. There's a lot of self-taught makeup artists who are exceptional, but there is so much in the training and the certification that comes with that. So that would be my first little kind of tip. And then I would say just find your style. Don't worry about what other makeup artists are doing. Find who your inspiration is, definitely, but just find what makes you happy. Like, it took me years to find that soft glam was my thing, and I was trying to do a bit of everything. I was trying to do cinema and prosthetics and editorial high fashion and weddings and models, like collaborations, and then I realized I've just got to find my thing and stick to it. And then you just work at that and you ace it. And you become an expert in your thing. And I think with your other question was like, how would people find, were you saying about
finding their groove, to be able to, because there's so much beautiful things out there to do and you can do it all, but being able to feel comfortable but also wanting to get discomfort at the same time in what you do.
There's so much, like, we just put on a bit of a facade to the world, I would say, and we all have like our own little demons and self-image, self-confidence issues. So I think it's really important to find what makes you happy as a makeup artist, because we're in the world of beauty, the world of image, the world of perfectionism. So I would say keep it real and just put your head down.
Like you can't ignore it in a sense, but you also have to embrace and accept it. And just
it is what it is.
It is what it is, and then just work with it and progress.
I forgot to say how people can find me as well.
Well, that's part of it. So for those who want to get on board, come and sit in your chair, get the most beautiful eyebrows in the world, how do they find you and get involved?
Well, you can find me on Instagram, which is chloeelouise.com.au, which is actually my website, so it makes it really seamless. You can book me online through the booking system on the website, which is about to get updated and be even cooler, so that's awesome. And I have Facebook. I wouldn't say that I use it as often, and that's probably the best way. And obviously, I have a team as well. So you can have the in the studio experience, or you can have the mobile on location experience too.
Wonderful. Well, that's it, guys, right here on Kensington Road. Chloe Ellouise, thank you for episode 5 with Give and Take with Tay. This has been such a journey through the beauty industry. I'm so glad to finally sit in your chair again. So yeah, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Tatum.
Bye, guys.